Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you the final episodes of our vanilla first ever Transport Fever Let's Play. So, we're starting off here today at Chesham, and interestingly there's a little bit of room on that train, but bar that, I'm imagining that all the other trains, actually this TGV here might not get quite full, though it'll probably get quite close, which is good to see. So, basically, we have a few aims of today's episode. There's one or two different things which I want to go ahead and do, and I just edited the last episode, so any feedback given there is not going to get implemented. Today we're just going to focus on trains. We left the buses quite a few episodes now, and I don't really want to go back to buses, and as this is the last episode, the buses are going to just stay in the state they are. The one thing I will say is on buses is that I've pretty much gone ahead and upgraded lots of buses though, so I'm very quickly just going to go ahead and turn this off. Now a lot of buses are in the negative right now. This is simply just because most of them anyway have just recently upgraded or are in the process of upgrading, so it's not all that bad. So at the end of the last episode, as I was saying the outro, I actually unlocked a new bus, and that's basically what I went ahead and did off camera. I just upgraded basically from the old bus to the new bus. So some routes were still using the Mercedes-Benz, which a lot of them had reached their lifespan, and I was moaning about the complaints I was getting during the last episode. If you have seen that, which if you've not, go ahead and check it out. So some buses were on the Mercedes-Benz still, some of them were on the MAN SL, but I've gone ahead and upgraded to this bus here, the Berkhoff, which has a capacity of 25 and can go at 90 kilometers per hour, which a bendy bus going at 90 kilometers per hour I'd be pretty worried about, but 25 passengers compared to the Mercedes-Benz and also the MAN SL is like, it's an extra 10 seats, 9 seats, so hopefully that'll help the buses out. The buses will make a loss for a wee while, however going forward everything should be good. So again, going back to what we did last episode and 2 episodes ago referring to it, we created this loop to go ahead and basically allow for people to move around this main loop much easier, but however, I mean, the problem, like, there's so many people waiting at this station for example, but both trains are full. The problem is the capacity isn't big enough. We've built the lines, but we've just not got the trains to support our idea. Haverhill, for example, also extremely busy. Loughton we were at. Royston, again, extremely busy. So we need to go ahead and just get a better capacity on the two. I'm pretty sure that both halves, to be honest, are having these issues. So Greenlays isn't as bad. Fairford's pretty bad. I can imagine going up to Paisley Bridge. So on both sides, pretty much we have issues here. Yeah, we really do. Of both sides of the loop, the left and the right. So we need to go ahead and basically just upgrade these electric trains, which the electric trains aren't bad, they're just not big enough. It'd be great if I could couple them together, but I just can't, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and look at buying some more trains. So what are we going to buy? So we've actually unlocked a new train in between the last 2 episodes. It's this one here, the double-decker car. So it's this one here, it's the RE45 commuter train. Now this can hold 99 passengers, which is not bad, and it's much more reasonable in price. So it's really tempting to go ahead. I mean, it's still got an extremely good loading speed. It's got the best loading speeds. Well, it's joint with the TGV. Actually, that's only with the TGV long. So I mean, it's got a very good loading speed. It can go at 130 kilometers per hour, which you guys can go at 125. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buy a shit ton of these RE45 commuter trains and see how they do. And then we might go ahead and change that out for TGVs at some stage. TGVs, I would go ahead and buy lots of use, but we have 500 million. And I believe right now we have on the line 40 RABDEs. Now if we're to go ahead and buy 10 of these, which I understand we wouldn't have to replace 40 of these current electric trains, these 10 million RABDE trains, we'd still need a lot, and we'd still need to spend pretty much all of our cash stack, and I don't want to do that. So that's why we're going to go ahead and implement these trains here. Now, we all know how bad things can be when it comes to removing trains from tracks. So what we're going to do is we're slowly going to deploy trains and slowly return trains. That's pretty much what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and buy trains. We're going to start off by buying, first of all, we're going to make them a light blue. Then we're going to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set all of you to the... We're going to start off with the right-hand loop. So you're going to be the right half loop clockwise. So you are going to get deployed. So you can carry 99 passengers. So it's a real upgrade from the 64. Again, I'm still not 100% sure if it's enough. And that is what is my worry. So that's what we're going to do. I guess we're going to do a bit of a trial period. So you guys are going to go out and we're going to start to recall in some of you guys. So we'll recall in 4 and then I'll go ahead and buy 4 more, deploy them, and then recall 4 more and then deploy them. So oh, hold up. Do we have 8 or 10? We have 10, that's an issue, yeah. So I'm just going to start recalling these slowly but surely. I mean, this line is really profitable. 10 million is really good. But it's just not quite... I do think we can get into that 15 million, if not 20 million, because we've got so many people waiting at stations. So, as you can see, the amount of money is really starting to drop, which isn't great. But I mean, these trains are only 13 million, which is really good. I don't feel that's too much of a dent from my cash flow anyway. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So another 5 of you guys, you're going to go on to that half loop there, and then we're just going to remove... I realise that probably none of you have returned to the depot yet, but let's just go ahead and return you. Return you. And then we're going to monitor that and see after a bit how that line gets on. So we're going to leave that for now, and if that is a success, then we'll roll it out onto the other lines which have the old DAB or whatever stupid train name it's called. The slower 3-carriage red train, that's really what it's called. But while we wait for basically to see the results of that, I have noticed something which could help us out here. So, in the last episode I went ahead and I built a line which basically goes from Greenlays to Royston, and the reason for that is because if someone wants to come from Fairford to Loughton, for example, right? What they have to do is they have to go from Fairford to Greenlays all the way to Willesden, then from Willesden back out to Royston and then to Loughton. The purpose is that you can get on a train at Fairford, so understandably with this you'd get on 3 trains instead of 2, but it doesn't actually, people don't care about changing trains, it's about how quick you can get to a destination. This game is coded. So Fairford, you get the train from Fairford to Greenlays, you get off at Greenlays, then you get the train from Greenlays to Royston, and then you get back off a train at Royston and onto another train which takes you to Loughton. And we can go ahead and help ourselves out here, because right now currently we've got an individual line. As you can see here we have a queue. Oh, okay. So yeah, there shouldn't be a oh, you're too far forward, that is the problem. Again, this is the old signals. This is old signaling, so we need to go ahead and address you appropriately. Hopefully you can find a route. Just stop, right, stop being negative to start with. Null segments. I don't have time for errors that don't make sense. What does a null segment even mean? Right, you know what? This is just being stupid. So let's go ahead and delete you. There's no reason for it. Oh, sweet Jesus. We fucked up. Right, get rid of you. I mean... Oh my sweet. Right, just no. Right, so I need to go ahead and build you to there. And then we somehow, if this is going to work, because you trains are tail to tail now, or nose to nose, hopefully this will push the green or the orange train back, which it doesn't. And now we're at a proper gridlock. Right, how are we going to solve this issue? So, waiting for free path as are you. So can we send you, we're going to have to send you back to the depot. Waiting for free path. Yeah, I really fucked up here. We need to go ahead and literally reverse you. So you're good. So we can go ahead and reassign these trains now back onto the line. Now, what I was actually going to try and say is, this train which goes here from Royston all the way to... Or this train that goes from Greenlays, sorry, all the way to Royston, it's got its own line, because there's 4 platforms at this station. There's 4 platforms all the way over here at Royston. But interestingly, there's 4 platforms here at Loughton. So what I think is we're just going to go ahead and extend that one extra stop, and that should maybe help make that line 1 a wee bit more profitable, and we can definitely go ahead and do that because we have, I mean, that line is only for those 2 stops, so we might as well go ahead and maximize it. Anyway, before you guys return to here, I basically need to go ahead and redeploy yous onto this line. So back onto the Royston, oh for fuck's sake. You should stop. And then very quickly reassign you as well. So that's my principle. I just want to go ahead and extend this part out. So you're going to go off one way, you're going to continue in here, and you should get up and running. There was some profitability issue I noticed at the end of the last episode, and that was obviously the reason why. So railroad, so yeah, you're making a loss of 11 million right now, which is quite a lot. However, you should sort yourself out. Now, looking, I mean, it's been a wee bit of time since we have went ahead and looked at the right half clockwise line. I keep getting the names confused there. So the right loop going clockwise, and it's at quite a large loss, and it seems to be at this same level. So I'm guessing that trains are just getting caught up on each other right now. That's what I'm guessing, to be honest. So you're returning to various depots. There's actually only one out on the line, so hopefully we'll start to see that advance a little further forwards. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and basically quadruple up this line, which goes from here all the way along. And this is going to run into Loughton Station here. So that's very quick. I'm just going to double up the line because, again, I don't want to do it on camera. Right, so that is this new part of the line built. So as you can see here, the left-hand side, this part of the line is now totally free because we have shifted this is the left side loop, I guess, over to the right hand side, if that makes any sense. So I mean, right now this train is going to be the last one, which is going to be using this left hand side part of the track, and this, I guess, faint pink, not the strong pink, or maybe going on red, where this red train is here, this is the current line which goes from Greenleys to Royston. So looking at it now, that train is back into the profit, which I totally do expect. It was basically my fuck up, to be honest. So as you can see though, there is room for more people on that train there. 51 out of 164 isn't a lot, and that's why we're just going to go ahead and extend it to Loughton, because Loughton's a pretty big place, and there is a lot of people in general actually just waiting at the station. So with that said, looking at the right loop and in clockwise, that's at 12 million, which is wonderful to see, and I mean the other half is at only 7 million, so you can see again that there is a wee bit of an issue there, and I think this is the solution. I think that's pretty much showing that is the solution, going ahead and going for the double-decker cars. I think it will really help long term, so we'll go ahead and basically just start calling in the trains now. Now we're having a profitability issue on loop 2, and I had to look at that in the last episode. It actually seems to be due to lack of people, which is very surprising. Like, Sale and Wembley don't actually, I mean, I suppose you have a lot of people right now, but I don't know, it's just really strange. Like, yeah, I mean, you've only got 22 people on you, so you're actually overall as a line making a loss. So I might pull one train off anti-clockwise and clockwise off that line going forward, just because it's been like that for a while now, and I don't think it's ever gonna, I don't think those 4 towns needs that many trains. I think you could deal with 3 or maybe even 2. So anyway, what we're gonna go ahead and do is start off by continuing to upgrade, because you know, these upgrades take a while. So we're gonna go for a different shade of blue this time, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That could have been 11, even though I counted it out loud. No, we're good, it's 10. Right, okay, so you're now going to go on to this one here. So you're going to go on to the right half, but this time the anti-clockwise side. So off you guys go, and then we need to just go ahead and remove the old ones from the line manager. So that is you. We'll start off with use 4. And this is another reason why we're ending the series pretty much now, is because of the frame rate issue. So the frame rate, I was talking to Dylan, and I went on forums, and I went on the Steam Workshop, and the game's not optimized. Now basically, to optimize a game, there's multiple ways you can go ahead and optimize a game. You can do clipping, you can do don't render something if it's out of view. So they've obviously gone ahead and did some optimization techniques in this. And again, you might not understand all of this. This comes from what I study, video games development. So they've done some stuff, but they've not done a lot of stuff. And I don't think they've done one of the main things, which is multi-threading, where you can go ahead and basically do... Basically, just multi-threading is just really required overall. And without it, it's gonna make this game struggle and it's the exact same situation with Cities XXL. That game's not multi-threaded either, and it just means that fundamentally 2 tasks struggle to get run at the same time and everything's just getting queued up, which just isn't really good enough. And especially when we started off, there was no lag because there wasn't a lot of tasks being asked to do something at the exact same time. However, now, if you think about it, like, although we're just focusing on one thing, think about the amount of stuff we built, the stuff that's going on in the background. There is still something going on over here. There is still all these cars on the road. There is still lots of people waiting on these buses here. There is this and that. So you do need to consider that as well when you come and think about this. So anyway, let's just get on with building for the time being. So we've got a lot of trains here, which is good. So hopefully this will get a lot of sell back money, because I guess buying all these trains, it is going to cost us quite a bit of money. It's interesting that these trains from Loop, these are from the Loop 2, came to this depot. I was wondering where those trains would have arrived at. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and upgrade the left hand side of the loop now. So this side of the loop, not the side of the loop that goes over to Ryde, the side of the loop that goes over to Loughton. So let's go ahead, and I probably should have named it like the Ryde loop and the Loughton loop, because that would have got rid of the confusion with left and right. Anyway, let's go ahead and buy some more of these trains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, yeah, that's costing us 130 million. So you do need to realise this is quite some investment here. But I mean, we're still going to have adequate money left over. Anyway, so you're going to go on to the left loop clockwise. We'll get you guys going. And then we're going to go ahead and start pulling some trains off the old line. Now, I've sort of done all this at once, which I know I was against, but we've sort of done this all at once. So this is going to cause a few issues here. So let me just think very quickly. Let's go ahead and... I don't think we're going to go ahead and straight away put upgrades onto the left loop anti-clockwise, because the amount of time it takes trains to come out this depot is going to be a long time. So we'll come back to that side of the loop in a second, but let's just go ahead and recall all these guys. And you guys have really not been in operation that long. I think maybe 2 episodes, very possibly 3, and a maximum, very maximum 20 years service, but I really don't even think it's been that long since we went ahead and implemented you guys. And we started this Let's Play way back in 1910, I think it was, so quite a while ago now. As I played 80 years, and again, that's going to be another change going into my new Let's Play, is that we're not going to start off in 1910, we're going to start in much more modern times, because I mean, you don't want to see the same thing back to back, and I don't want to play, I want to try new trains, I want to do this and that, you know, so... Anyway, so the next thing we're going to do, while all that's sorting itself out, the new trains, we're going to go ahead and add in an extra stop onto the Royston Greenleys railway line. So the next station after Royston is going to come through here, and it's going to come in here to Loughton. Then from Loughton it's going to go backwards up to Royston. That's another plane there, which again looks nice. Hold up. There seems to be an issue here. Or not necessarily an issue actually. Whereabouts are you going? Don't tell... Oh, what is going on here? Right, where is this line gone? It's just disappeared. Right, first of all, let's change the colour, because that colour is not very easy to see. So if we change you to yellow, so I can't see yellow there, that's a bit of an issue. I should definitely be able to see yellow in this section here, but I can't. A station appears consecutively twice, it's Royston. Oh, no, this is bad. So I need to remove you. So it goes from Royston to Greensley. It then needs to go from Greensley back in here to Royston. Then it needs to go up here to... I thought I laid it out Greensley, Royston, not Royston, Greensley. Then you need to come into here, and then that's it pretty much good to go. We need to go ahead and add in a crossing probably round about, I don't know, here, just to go ahead and make sure that you guys are not sharing the same side of the track for too long. So that's fine, that goes all the way up here doubled, and then it continues on to the current section doubled. So we might need to go ahead, and I think we will actually going forward. You should be the first train which goes on from here onto Loughton, so just want to see how you do. Now there's a lot of people waiting to go both clockwise and anti-clockwise, and not a lot of people waiting to use this train. However, a lot of you, if you just wanted to go to Loughton, you could jump on this train. However, you guys are not, which is a bit disappointing. So, because I mean, if you just want to go the one stop, then you can jump on that train now. That's the purpose. Because, I mean, there's nearly 1,000 people here waiting at Loughton alone, that the reason we've gone ahead and added this in is just to sort of relieve the pressure just between those two towns. Understandably, there's even more people waiting than usual right now just because we're upgrading trains, so just give that some time, because over 1,000 people is the most I've ever seen. That is crazy. And it'd be really good to see, I don't think there is like population statistics. If I jump into this, it's just going to get really, really messy. Shorter hide lines, depots, industry which we've not touched, Lister towns. Towns might be an interesting one actually. So shopping facilities, jobs. So Loughton seems to be, can we actually go ahead and sort this? So let's do population, so we can. So Ryde is our biggest town, understandably, and so is Loughton. Those are the, I guess, two capitals of the map, and I said that from the start. That was my aim. Then Haverhill is next, understandable. Royston's pretty big, yup. Then Chesham, Fairford, Philly, and then going down the list, there are the three, that's very interesting actually, the three towns which do not have train stations are at the bottom, and also on top of that, Willesden, which only recently got a train station, is the fourth least populous. So that's really, really interesting to see actually, and that just, I think, backs up the point that you really do, if you want to go ahead and grow a city, you need to have a railway going to it, because buses just aren't good enough. Anyway, so with that done, let's go ahead and just check out the profitability of all of our lines. So that's at a 3-minute frequency, but we can go ahead and hopefully expand on that going forwards. I just want to see, I mean, 3 minutes is still really good for a train. I want to see how busy you are. So you're 58, so that's a little bit more this time. You should be, you're fine for now. So let's go ahead and see if, so the right loop clockwise is at 10 million, which is good. You're at -20, but you're in the middle of upgrading and shuffling stuff around. So loop 2 is really starting to worry me actually, and I'm really, really not happy about that. It's just a shame. I think we might go ahead and pull a train from that. Now you're in the process of upgrading as well, the left loop going clockwise. However, we should send you back to the depot anyway, and then you're at 12 million, which is handy dandy. It's just not the need. Sale doesn't have the need. Wembley doesn't have the need for all these TGVs, you know? So what I think we're just going to do is we're just going to go ahead and basically tell 2 of the TGVs, 1 on each loop, to just go ahead and return to the depot. And we'll see how you do. So if we go ahead and go to depot, and then you can also go to depot, that'll take them off the line, and hopefully that'll go ahead and sort that out. I mean, the frequency goes down, but as long as the train's under 5 minutes for frequency, it's still going to make a profit, and a good profit at that. So I'm not that worried at all. That's fine there. I'm happy with how things are going there. That station really isn't too badly overcrowded at all. It's just this right loop here right now, and it's just most outerlying stations are just so busy. But the network will catch up eventually, so there's no need to worry there. What I'm half thinking about actually is going ahead and creating just a smaller loop which goes Fairford, Paisley Bridge, Philly and Willesden as well. Though that's just going to cause a lot of issues in general with, it's going to be too much clashing, it's not worth it. I mean, in an ideal world when this series went on for 40 episodes I would do that, but the problem is the frame rate. Like, fundamentally, until this game gets optimized better, I can't go ahead and continue to do that. Plus the vanilla game's starting to get a bit boring, and that's why it's good to go ahead and start this new series, because we'll get to play with mods as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. I have even turned down the settings in this episode, and don't get me wrong, like, things are better definitely in the last episode, but zooming in here, like, it's just froze. Like, legit froze, and I mean, no frames dropped, 30 FPS from OBS, so OBS is fine, so OBS isn't the problem, interestingly. And I'm really glad and half surprised though that Willesden isn't any more busier than it actually is. So you've got 99 out of 99, you've got 99 out of 99, so I can imagine near enough all these trains are going to be full. Here comes another one here, you've got 0 out of 99. Which is interesting. You are still the old train, you guys haven't been pulled just yet. I'm still waiting to see if... Are you guys still deploying and taking in trains? So it should be this one. This side looks done actually. These both look done. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and upgrade our final line. And we're going to probably wrap things up after that. So how much do we get? We get basically get about 5 million. For getting these sell back. So I mean 5 million is still pretty good, and I think we bought them for roughly what? How much did you guys cost? 10 million each? Yeah, so 10 million each. I mean we're getting half value back, so we've really actually not lost that much, which I actually really like that system in this game. How long you have the train for depends on how much money you get back. It makes sense, it's logical. And it's something that I wasn't really expecting, to be honest. It's a nice extra feature. Anyway, so let's go ahead and do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 10? I don't know. I mean, there's so many different train numbers. It starts at 37 and goes to 80, so it's a bit all over the place again. So the loop that hasn't got it is the anti, I believe, which is the pink one. If not, we're about to find out because there's going to be so many traffic issues. Jump into here. So we need to jump over to the Royston. Why? That's strange, so a lot of you guys have returned to the Royston Road depot, or train depot. So I'll need to go ahead and look at that in a second and sell you trains. So let's just start returning some of you guys. So you're at 12.5 million, just out of reference, because I want to see if we can get back to that, or if not more, because I think this is probably the best out of the 4 railway lines. It was doing the best, I would say, in general. So anyway, let's get you returning. I don't know what depot you're going to return to, but return to depots in general, please. And hopefully that should sort itself out. So let's jump all the way up to the Royston train depot, which is here. And you should have a lot of trains in here, which shouldn't really necessarily be in here. And what I'm going to do for this last bit is I'm going to turn the game onto ×3. So just want to see basically how the trains basically pull out and do overall. That's had again a knock-on effect on the frame rate, unfortunately, but we'll see how things go. So you should be on your way to a depot, and I'm guessing you're coming into this Royston depot here. Maybe not actually. Oh, you're going to do a whole loop of the map, aren't you? That's a bit of a shit one. Right, okay, so first of all, we're going to go ahead and look at how the new extra stop is doing on our... Okay, so the Royston to Greenlays, the frequency is up to 5 minutes, however the profit in general is up, which is great to see. That's you going there, and you're on 164 out of 164, which is great, and I'm hoping that... How are you doing? 164 out of 160, that's exactly what I wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and buy 2 more TGVs and deploy them onto this line as well. Because that's really the purpose of building that train. It was to go ahead and get them filled and just ease the pressure off, especially the link between Loughton and Royston, and then it has that added effect of it taking the pressure off Willesden for Greenlays. So let's go ahead and buy 2 of you guys at 80 million. So we're down to 129 million, which is amazing considering we're probably at near enough 500 million at the start of this episode. Maybe 400, but at one stage we're at 600 million in the past few episodes. You're going to get assigned to the Royston Greenlays line, so off you guys go. Hopefully you'll take effects and hopefully you can near enough double the profits, and that'd be wonderful to see. You can just see the amount of people waiting here, oh my word. And a lot of people are for the Royston Greenlays line, which is just great to see. So let's say if an empty train was to turn up here, it couldn't even take away all the passengers waiting at this station, which I don't know again if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey ho. Right, we do have some gridlock here though. Just stepping aside from the trains a second, like, oh my word, how bad are things here? So what are yous all? Yous are, half yous are Connect and half of yous, the Connect has just way too many, and I mean way too many buses on it, that's for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and, I know I said I wouldn't touch buses, but I just need to try to help myself out here. So the Connect, which goes around Ryde, yeah, you can just see like you're losing so much money, and we need to go ahead and just prevent that amount of loss because there's just no need for it. So we can go ahead and help ourselves out. So I'm going to send all these buses back to the depot. Now unfortunately the problem is that a lot of these buses cannot move to go to the depot because they're stuck in traffic. So this is a real pickle, and it looks like I don't think any buses can get, or buses are trying to get out, but they can't get out because there's so much. They can't get over the roads here because of this bus here. So unless these buses move up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and very quickly double up this road and see if I can get a little bit of traffic moving, and then hope that things just move a little bit better from there. So, because if you go ahead and click on roads, and there we go, there's some movement all of a sudden, and at least we've sort of stopped the gridlock temporarily, like the total gridlock anyway. So I mean there's plenty of lanes there. Let's go ahead and upgrade you, which is really going to help things. Upgrade you. This straight here could probably do with a bit of upgrading as well. So things are moving better, which is good. What else? This road here could definitely do with it. It's going to get rid of a lot there, but hopefully you guys should continue to move on, and can't upgrade that, but that's helped things out. It's got some stuff moving, and hopefully with all these buses returning to the depot, I realise the depot's not in the most ideal place either, but things are moving, which is good. It was just too much here, just way too much, and hopefully we will not be making as much of a loss, because I mean the frequency, problem is here with the Ryde Connect is the Ryde Connect's too big. Ryde is a big town, but it needs I guess, a bus which goes around the suburbs, and it needs a main connection which goes from that bus station up to the main train station and the other bus station as well. So there needs to be a link which basically goes around these three but not around the suburbs, and I didn't clock onto that till too late pretty much. But again, something learned for the next series, so we should be able to go ahead and implement that and everything. Hopefully going forward from there it won't be as bad, because you can just see the amount of people waiting at bus stops. 146 there. I mean, I realise there has been literal deadlocks, there's been no buses moving, but things again are still pretty packed, to be honest. It's just a loading speed, and I guess like there's no need for the amount of buses that are going ahead and moving around here, so it's interesting to say the least. It's really interesting. I mean, some buses are still making great profit, but it's just a clusterfuck is what it is. And going ahead as well, I think I'm going to have definitely bus stops all on the outside of town, and I'll have one on the inside of town. Just one. So basically have like a spider web effect, I think. That's what I'm going to go for going forward. If that happens, that happens. I mean, it's all on really town planning, and obviously Ryde was like an eighth of the size when we started out actually, so I mean it has grown so much, which is shown by its population of over 4,000. Anyway, so jumping away from buses, that was the sort of reason I didn't want to go and look at buses, because buses, I just sort of knew it was kind of a pretty hideous situation, though that line is losing too much money. It's not losing as much as it was, which is good, but I mean it's still not optimal, that's for sure. There's a lot of bus lines which are really struggling now actually. It's mainly Connects, and I mean again I've stated the issue. That one interestingly there's losing quite a bit of money, and it's, well, that is a Connect. And it seems to be the buses that go in between towns are making the most profit, even though they've got train lines competing with them, which doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, so how are we doing? So let me see, you are, let's see if that line is into the profit. So if we jump back into railroads, and then if we scroll down, so we're looking at for loop 2 here, and yeah, they're in the profit now by removing that simple one train from, I mean, at least the clockwise loop is doing extremely well, and I'm glad that's at 12 million now. So by removing that one simple train, it's made such a large difference, and hopefully the anti-clockwise will follow suit, but I'm just happy overall that it's in the positive, so can't complain about that. Now looking at both the right half of the loop, as you can see, one of them's at 14 million and one of them is at 11 million, so I mean that's 25 million combining them together. And then if we're looking at the left loop, and that one's at 18 million, which is amazing to see, and that one's making a loss, but it's actually now making a profit, which is great. But I mean, if I can get anywhere, and I mean anywhere near 10 million, and that's 30 million plus 25 million, that's 55 million. And remember, the main line, adding the two lines together, was only making it 30 million maximum. So what we've gone ahead and done has worked. That's the bottom line. It has worked. It's taken a while to get it, but it has worked, and I'm really, really happy about that. I was a bit nervous because I wasn't sure if it was going to work, to be honest, and if I could have, I would have gone ahead and upgraded these to TVGs, that's for sure, because TVGs are definitely the best train in the game, and they're just so valuable, so I can't wait to actually go into the next series and be able to play with modded and custom trains, because the vanilla ones are good, but it'd be good if I could have a train that was just cheap, that had maybe 120 passengers, understandably a wee bit more, but there's a real big gap between 99 and 164 passengers, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be good if I could maybe have a train in between that. That's really what I'm looking for. And going forward as well, I would always go ahead and build 320 meter railway stations, just so we can fit in longer trains. Again, that'll be building for the future, and again, because this is my first ever playthrough, I've not even played a playthrough. I mean, I played the tutorials in my spare time, but I just jumped right into it, so. And I do apologise, my voice is making funny sounds for some reason, so. Anyway, knowing that as a success, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this series up here, because that is it pretty much done. Don't get me wrong, there are so many issues with our transport network and transport company, but at the end of the day, and again, I said this at the end of the Cities XXL Let's Play, you're never going to get anything perfect, and I think we've done a pretty good job to be gaining the amount of money we are. It's just amazing. So right now we're gaining, 50 million a year we're basically gaining, and we're only halfway through the year, and we could reach 100 million this year, which is interesting, so we'll have a look at that when we are just about to end. I just want to recap all the lines. So I do think that we've actually got a lot of vehicles and trains and buses and all that to sell, so that would actually get me a lot of money. So I'm very quickly just going to go ahead and sell these actually and get ourselves our final cash total. So with all that selling done, that is us at 374 million. So let's just go ahead and recap all the lines. So starting off, I want to look at, and as you can see, it's literally doubled in profit, and it's been a wonderful addition we built this episode. So the Royston Greenlays Loughton line, this line here, it's actually dropped. It's fluctuating in price quite a lot, but I mean, it's doing extremely well, and I'm really glad we went ahead and built it. It's definitely meant that Royston Station is less busy and Loughton Station is less busy. Compare it with Haverhill. Royston and Loughton definitely used to be like that, but with this extra line, it's really gone ahead and made things much more easier. So going ahead and looking at the right half of the loop, you're on 13 million, as I said, you're on, that's 25 million there. Then looking at the left hand side of the loop, you are, 28 million? We're at 50 million, we've made a profit, I'm so glad that's worked, and that, this is why the series is again wrapping up. Another reason actually is because we've managed to achieve what we really set out to do, which is good. I'm starting to get a lot of warnings now about road vehicles. It's good to see how profitable, just by removing a train off loop 2 in each direction, how profitable that is. That is at near enough 30 million profit now, which is just amazing. So it just shows you small loops can be very effective. And I think to take from this series as well, don't necessarily do really large loops, because large loops, they work okay and they will get you profit, but you can make so much more profit doing smaller loops. Looking at the roads are pretty mixed, to be honest. It seems to be in general that the buses that go in between the towns in general are making money, and it seems to be the connects are making a loss. But going into our next series, I know where the issue is, and as we can see there, the Ryde Connect, which is down to a frequency of 5 minutes, which is awful for a city bus, but it is losing a lot less money than it was, that's for sure. So it is at least moving people around, which is good to see. So finally, again, we're just going to go ahead and check. So we did sell a lot of vehicles. So, we made 197 million last year, which is just absolutely an insane amount. So we made 90, we basically, I mean, take off about 96, 97 million, I guess, off that total, because we sold that many vehicles, then we made 100 million last year, which is just an insane amount. And I mean, we're at June, we're not even at the end of June, we're not even at the end of month 6, and we're already at 60 million. So it's going to be mental to see how profitable, like if I was to continue playing this, how profitable this would be. Now there is a very, very, very slim possibility if this game gets optimized, I might come back to the specific map down the line, but we will have to wait and see, because this map has been a great fun to play. Anyway, so with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Now I need feedback going forward into the next series, so I'm not going to record the next series for another day or two yet. However, I do need input. So what did you enjoy about the series? What did you not like about the series? What would you like to see in upcoming series? And do you like that I cut out the bits from like doubling up track? Do you want to see that or do you not want to see that? Go ahead and give me some feedback and any other thoughts you've got, any tips, suggestions, that sort of stuff. If anyone's got any tips to deal with lag, then that would just be absolutely amazing, because I am really, really struggling with that issue. Not lag, frame rate, which is kind of the same thing. That's a topic for another video, but if you've got anything to say, just please go ahead and say it so I can go ahead and implement it into our next series, which will start in 2 to 3 days time. Anyway, as I said, thank you very much for watching. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.